lines up here. The inch and quarter lines carry sap. The 2 3/4 inch lines are what we call dry lines. They let the gas release that's in those lines. Because if without that, they'll actually stop running because it becomes vapor locked. So this is a new process. If you look on the side of that tree, that's actually a little bitty booster that actually helps it keep from air locking. But we also have shutoff valves on every one of them. Every line that comes out of here, the 3/4 inch line, has a shutoff valve on it for a reason. If we have a problem with that line, we just shut it off and we can continue running without losing anything. You know, and the green lines, you look at them up here, they're actually our sap lines. They're 1/4 inch. They come from tree to tree. We try not to get over 8, maybe 10 trees on each line. Maximum length is 100 feet. But you need the snow. You got to have snow to get moisture in the ground. It helps. It really does. More moisture you got in the ground, more water you're going to get. My system is set up totally different than anybody's that I know of around close. I use a vacuum system. And when I say vacuum system, it's just like in a milking parlor, except I'll pull a higher pressure than what the vacuum system set up for the milkers. So this comes right straight off of the vacuum. That's a releaser on top. It drops 30 gallons of water every time it opens up. This tank will hold 1,100 gallons of water. From this tank, it goes back up through this building. And we have a tank here that we put in so the RO runs easier and better. So this is just a little holding tank, so when we start flushing the water through to the silver tank, it comes up here back into the RO, and from here down into the silver tank. So that actually gives us an opportunity to clean this water one more time before it gets in that tank. This valve is closed. That lets the water in to the front pan. This is the one that makes the syrup. The second thing I'll do is I'll come around the other side and I'll turn the valve on the back the same way. Now this controls the water that comes in from outside. That's a 1-inch line. So there's 1 inch of water running into this tank all the time through a 1-inch line. There's a switch right here where you turn it this way in the drain. That way it's an automatic. That way in the middle it's manual, it can't do anything. I usually keep it in the manual until I get my first drop. That's the idea. Now I got a little bottle I keep setting right here. This is called defoamer. Syrup, when you cook it, water really foams up. It really boils. Put a couple drops of that in there, foam's gone. Breaks bubbles down. That stuff all cooks off and goes into the atmosphere. So it's not in the syrup. You can have it tested. You'll not find anything in this syrup. That's the way I want it. I want it pure maple syrup. When I say that, that's what I mean. Now this thing, I heat this up to 220 to 222, 225 before I'll hit this range. Now I took it off of my furnace over there. It was almost syrup. So I don't take long over here. It takes me within an hour I'm canning or less. When we take it out of here, we'll draw a bucket full. Now if you look in here, that is white powder. It's called Filter Aid. I'll mix 1 bucket of this and I'll bring it over here. I'll run this bucket clear through the filter press. What it does is it lodges against the filters. It takes out any particles from there on that comes through the syrup. None of this ever ends up in the syrup. this doesn't work a little bit better. Here comes a syrup back through, and you can already see it's clear. We'll stop here, right here, because we got enough to can. I won't make you wait until I go on with this. So I'll move over here to the canning station. I'm not going to actually can. I'm going to let my wife and Aaron do the canning.
Oh.
I'll give you some history. I'll go clear back to when the cabin was built. The cabin behind me was built in 1780. Kathy's great-great-grandmother was born there. You know, and that cabin was occupied up until 1905. And then they built the main house down here, which we have now and we've restored. So, I mean, it's got a lot of history in it. We're going to rebuild it. And our goal is to put a sign on there that says general store when we're running maple business. When people walk into that place, they're not just going to see a little store. I have collected artifacts, antiques for the past 8 years. When you walk into that store, you're going to see the old bean pot cooking. You're going to see kerosene lamps. It's going to be like you walk back in time. And that's our goal. This is not mine. And I make that clear to anybody that comes to visit me. You look around and you say, well, Buck and Kathy sure got a lot. No, this is not mine. I'm a steward. This is God's. And He gave it to me, and I'll take care of it till somebody else gets it. Then it'll be up to them. This is God's mountain. And that's what I tell everybody.